The African sun bled across the horizon, painting the sky in deep orange and red. Below, two giants faced each other, an old king and a young challenger. The air was thick with tension, the world holding its breath. The old bull's eyes showed both weariness and stubborn fire. He had ruled this river for many seasons. The challenger, younger and stronger, was restless, his muscles rippling with untamed power. The river, now a weak ribbon, was the prize. Control of life itself in a time of drought. The cracked earth and the last patch of mud set the stage for their conflict, their ears fanned wide in a display of aggression. The young bull stepped forward, trunk high, testing his opponent. The old king lowered his head, tusks aimed at the challenger's heart. Silence stretched, a taut string ready to snap. This was more than a fight for territory. It was for legacy and survival. The setting sun cast their long shadows, making them seem like ancient gods. Every creature had scattered, sensing the power about to be unleashed. The world waited for the first move in this primal duel. The battle was about to begin. The savannah was dying, a brittle yellow wasteland under a relentless sun. The river, once roaring, was now a series of shrinking muddy pools. Animals trekked for miles, ribs showing, desperate for water. The air was eerily quiet, the usual buzz of life replaced by silence and dust. For elephants, the river was everything: drinking, cooling, survival. With so little water, animals crowded together, tensions rising. Predators and prey drank side by side, their mutual thirst overriding instincts, if only for a moment. The shrinking water source changed everything: migration patterns, alliances and rivalries. The lead bull had to defend the best spots for his family. In this harsh reality, the river was a kingdom to be won or lost. Every day was a battle for survival. The struggle for water defined life on the savannah. These two bulls were not strangers. Jabari, the old king, had long ruled with wisdom and strength. Cato, the challenger, once lingered at the edges, learning and growing. There was a code: respect, hierarchy, peace. But drought changed everything. Scarcity frayed the old rules. Cato's respect turned to impatience as he saw Jabari's age as weakness. His own strength surged, driven by instinct to challenge for dominance. Tension built with small acts of defiance, standing too close, refusing to back down. Jabari tried to keep the peace, but Cato's ambition was too great. Their shared past faded, only the coming battle mattered. The future of the herd would be decided by this final confrontation. The old order was about to be tested. Cato was the embodiment of power, muscular, restless, and in his prime. His tusks were long and sharp, his energy boundless, his ambition fierce. Jabari, nearly 50, was a monument to resilience, scarred, wise, and deliberate. His broken tusk and deep wrinkles told stories of survival. Cato's strategy was brute force, overwhelming and relentless. He underestimated the value of experience and terrain. Jabari was a master strategist, patient and cunning. He read his opponent, anticipated moves, and used the environment to his advantage. Cato's confidence was both weapon and weakness. Jabari knew he couldn't match Cato's energy, but he could outlast him. The fight would be as much mental as physical. Jabari planned to let Cato exhaust himself, then strike back. The battle would test strength, but also wisdom. Only one would emerge as king. The battle erupted with a thunderous charge. Cato barreled forward, tusks aimed at Jabari's flank. Their collision sent shockwaves through the earth, dust exploding around them. Locked head to head, it was a contest of pure strength. Cato pushed hard, trying to overpower Jabari, but Jabari held firm, absorbing the blows, refusing to yield. They broke apart and clashed again, Cato swinging his tusks, aiming for a decisive wound. Jabari parried skillfully, protecting his vulnerable sides. Trumpeting calls of rage and pain filled the air. Dust and blood streaked their hides as the fight wore on. Cato's aggression gave him an early advantage, landing a deep gash on Jabari's shoulder. The scent of blood heightened the intensity. It seemed the young bull's power might finally topple the old king. Cato's relentless assault drove Jabari toward the muddy riverbank. Forcing an opponent back was a sign of dominance. Cato pressed harder, sensing victory. Jabari tired, his old bones aching, but as his feet touched the mud, he remembered his advantage. This was his territory. He knew every patch of treacherous ground. Cato, blinded by aggression, followed into the shallows. The mud clung to Kato's feet, sapping his strength and slowing his attacks. Jabari positioned himself on firmer ground, letting Kato waste energy. The river became an unexpected ally for the old king. Kato's charges grew weaker, his confidence faltering. Jabari waited, patient and calculating. The fight was no longer about strength, but about strategy. The river, once the prize, now decided the battle's outcome. Jabari's experience turned the tide. The turning point came swiftly. Kato lunged, but his foot sank deep in the mud. He was off balance. Jabari struck with his good tusk, driving it into Kato's exposed shoulder. Kato roared in pain, his will broken. He stumbled back, the fire of challenge gone from his eyes. There was no final charge, only the quiet acceptance of defeat. Kato limped away, leaving a trail of blood in the dust. Jabari stood alone, trembling with exhaustion but victorious. He raised his trunk in a triumphant, weary trumpet. The victory was his, but it came at a cost. As the moon rose, Jabari drank from the river he had defended. His reign would continue, but he knew power was never permanent. Kato would heal, and new challengers would come. For the giants of the savannah, the struggle for survival is